mic'd up because there's some online
Cool.
people maybe?
We don't have any, we're not doing live,
Okay.
but we probably will share it to the YouTube later. The mic is the only thing that picks up the sound, so we might repeat a question if you have one. I would like to introduce myself. I'm Kat Purcell. I'm the career librarian here at the Champaign Public Library. I get a lot of questions sometimes, is that like, are you a librarian for life? Like, yes, but also I help people get their jobs figured out because I myself had a hard time figuring out what I wanted to do with my life. So if you need resume reviews, cover letter reviews, anything from job practice to just kind of pick my brain about what I want to do. I don't know where to go, which is why I wanted to get Heidi Esther in today because she's had a very similar life path. So she's going to talk a lot about building that resilience, building your emotional intelligence, how to figure out what is going to get you feeling joy. So thank you so much, Heidi.
And
it does have a clip on it.
Okay, that's great. Let's put this adorable little thing on me, and then we'll get started. All right, is that good?
Yeah,
Okay.
should be perfect.
Great. Okay, how are we feeling? We got our blood flowing a little bit from moving around with the beach ball. Great. Okay, so what is today gonna look like? So if you can probably guess, we started with tossing a beach ball around. So today is going to be maybe a little more unconventional. It's gonna be a little more tactile. I believe that in creating like fun, interactive experiences, I like to think that you all come with different tools like in your Batman tool belt, right? And today, I hope to maybe share a couple more tools that you can use to, fill up your Batman tool belt in terms of bouncing back, right? We have so much stress. I'll be talking about stress in a little bit. But there's so much stress and so much comes at us, and then life changes like all the time, right? So what can we do? How can we not get stuck in it, right? So we're gonna play with a few new tools. Depending on the time, we'll do 2 or 3. But in your handout is like a full outline of all of the 3 tools. So I like to say that this workshop is going to be participant-centered and instructor-led. So we're just going to have a discussion. I'm going to talk about some things, and then we're going to talk about it, and we're going to see and play around with it about how it relates to us, like in our lives right now, so that we can use it versus just saying, "Oh, I learned it up here," because the learning cycle is like we got to learn it, and then we got to like play around with it and see like how it works for us, and then we got to use it. We got to integrate it into our life. So I have we're gonna get up and move a couple more times, and play with the 3 specific components of a resilient mindset. And I'm gonna see if this scrolly thing works. Wait, no, it is on. Let me make sure it's on. Okay. Yay. All right, victory is ours. So really, life's got one thing after another, right? We all survived a pandemic recently, right? That was just like one thing, right? And now we're on to more things, and life can get more complicated as we go along in all sorts of realms, right? The job realm, in the home realm, social realms, all sorts of realms. And so really, as an emotional intelligence professional, I really help people just cultivating. I'm really hoping to help you cultivate just like figuring out what will help you find that peace and that flow in the moment, even when it seems like the seas are raging, right? So that you can still like learn to surf, even when, right, it's crazy out there. So, pardon me? I am an author, yes. I am a published author. I wrote a memoir. It's called Crying Out Loud, and I am on Amazon, so you can get them on Amazon. I don't think I can sell them here, but because it's a library and this is where people loan out books. They don't sell books. So so feel free to, you can come and look at my book. It's a combination of some what I like to call really bad poetry and my journey from trying to be perfectionistic, mommy doormat of a person to someone who can stand up for herself. And Yeah, and then actually standing up for myself in my job didn't come until much later after doing it in my personal life. But that's just my own path. So maybe you'll be different, or maybe you don't even have that issue. And bless you if you don't. And use that, it's a superpower. All right. So I want to start with a little bit of an intention here, just to kind of like ground and get us in this space, right? You got here. You showed up. You came. And maybe it was kind of scary to be like, I got to go do this thing at the library and I don't want to and I'm uncomfortable and So, yeah, the library is great. And, right, so some of us have different apprehensions about different things. So, you show up. So, if you feel called, get comfy in your seat. Put your feet on the ground. Put your hands wherever you feel comfortable. And we're just going to take a few deep breaths to just be here. We're just gonna practice showing up in now. And I always put my hand on my heart and one on my belly, just to remind me that like we're gonna take some belly breaths, trying to go all the way down to our belly. And so we're gonna talk a little more about breathing later and like the superpower of breathing, which is funny because we all do it anyway. And so we're gonna practice breathing into our belly. You ready? Breathe in. Feel it go all the way in your belly. And breathe out your mouth. And we're going to go back and breathe into our belly. Breathe in. Breathe out. Maybe start to notice if your shoulders keep moving up and down. If the breath moves over there, more there. Versus trying to get in our belly. And one more deep breath. All the way into the belly. Feel that divine yes to you for your life. The gift of breath. And breathe out. May we exhale and know that all of our responsibilities and our worries and our stresses and everything that is clamoring for our attention is lovingly resting during this time together.
How do we know that we have to, like in our sleep, how do we know how to breathe? Like I was wondering, whenever you're sleeping, do you just not breathe?
I'm gonna finish this intention and then we can talk more about breathing, okay? Great. May we remember that all is well and everything is unfolding in its divine timing for everyone's highest good. May we know that as long as we have this breath, as long as we can find the sturdy earth under our feet, we have a place of calm and ease to come back to when things are uncertain. May we know that as we connect here today in this new space with these brave souls, we will become filled with the curiosity, wisdom, and inspiration of the universe to help them confidently create more authentic resilience and confidence and joy and ease in their job search and in their lives, today and every day. And take a deep breath in to seal this. Coming into the now, and breathe out. All right. As you feel called, feel free to open your eyes and come back to the room. Good afternoon. We're all here now. All right. Okay, we already did our connection time. Okay, so our menu for today is we're gonna look at 3 different tools. What I think is the most important self-development tool to build resilience and also joy in your life. And then we're going to up-level our perseverance a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about stress and we're going to play around with how we show up when we're stressed out and figure out ways to really effectively help us process it so we're not stressed all the time. And we're going to have a fun little activity at the end that I have a little gift for you all. I always come with toys. That'll help you build confidence and optimism and gratitude. We already did some gratitude, but we're going to do some more gratitude. So I want to start by sharing you a little bit of my story. All right. It was a beautiful spring day. I sat there on the curb outside of my work the day before spring break, right? Usually a day that's full with all sorts of anticipation, and I don't have to go to work for the next week, and all sorts of good things. And it was also the first day of my honeymoon. And next to me was a cardboard box full of all of my work belongings. My mind circled down the drain. Why didn't I just drive to work today? Why is this happening to me? Why isn't anyone else in this situation? I was doing such a good job. It didn't make any sense at all. Outside the side of my eye, I could see everyone at my newly former workplace eating chicken shawarma and laughing and having a great time. And all I remember is my empty, sad stomach tightened as I held back a dam full of tears. However, I did not let getting let go of my job ruin my honeymoon. Yes, I spent a whole week in Southeast Georgia on an island, and it was beautiful, and I spent some nights crying. And, pardon me? I am just telling a little bit of my story about resilience. It's not on your agenda yet. So I had some tools, that was 8 years ago. I had some tools that helped me shift the ton of lemons into what I like to call lemon cupcakes with lavender frosting. So not just lemons into lemonade, lemons into lemon cupcakes with lavender frosting, which I think is so good, and I need to make them someday to make sure that they are actually as good as I envision them to be. And if you have a recipe, just come see me afterwards. So I turned it into one of the most profound learning and growth experiences of my life. I leaned into mindfulness at that time, meditation, Don Miguel Ruiz's 4 Agreements. It's kind of like, and it wasn't the only life lesson that had happened to me. I was in the middle of what I like to call my decade in life's funhouse. And so I had gone through like a depression, a divorce, a midlife awakening. So there was a lot of other things that were going on. A lot of financial stresses. I never even put that in there, but yeah, that was real. So in the middle of the pandemic, when my whole family around me was absolutely miserable, like my uncle had recently passed, my wife and I were talking through a journal at that point, I was able to find joy every day amidst all of it, right? It was the life lesson of the world. They call that, like, the pandemic was like a world life lesson. So I was able to pivot and find joy. And then I realized that everyone who has a big, generous heart, who just wants to make the world a better place, we also deserve to feel joy too. We don't just, we love helping and it's great, and we're wacky, weird, awesome people, and we have our own gifts, and we deserve joy. And so I am an emotional intelligence professional. I call myself a joyologist, so I help people really lean into creating a joyful life. I use and I've studied a lot of different modalities of mindfulness-based stress reduction, emotional intelligence, personal transformation, and essential workplace skills. I have a lot of workshops over at Parkland Community College currently, so if you want to do more fun workshops with me, please come see me after, and I can point you to Parkland College, community education. But really, I help people reduce stress, improve their motivation, whether it be for a job search or for really tapping into more authentic relationships in their life, and increasing the joy, like now, no matter what. So, all right, so let's get into our first tool, and then we get to, yes, you can open your books and go to the first page. Okay. How many of you are familiar and or studied in emotional intelligence? Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, so a few people. The first key in emotional intelligence of really kind of learning about who we are, and this is going to seem obvious, right, is awareness. Is becoming aware of all that stuff that's going on inside. We can't resolve our stress until we realize what's going on inside and how we're talking to ourselves. So I think of cultivating this big awareness like cultivating a co-pilot in the car. So think about like when you're born and you're a baby, you're in the driver's seat, right? You're in the driver's seat of your life. And like every time you eat something or like have a go out dancing or like have a good time, right? You're driving, you're enjoying all the juicy loveliness of life. And then we don't even know it, but we put people in the co-pilot seat, and our parents start in there, or our caregivers at first, right? So they're in that seat, they're kind of making sure that we don't go off the rails, right? They're like, this is what it means to like, be productive and be, helper and be a good student, and right? So sometimes we have faith communities that are in that seat. Sometimes our caregivers are in that seat, and then we put teachers in that seat. And when we get older, we follow people online. We put them in that seat also, right? Because we're like, oh, we want to be more like them. We're going to try out being like them. And so we put all these people in the seat. Now, as long as we're enjoying our life and we're not having an issue, it's totally no problem, right? It's fine to have whoever in that seat. The problem is sometimes that seat is not the most polite to us when we get older. We might have an inner perfectionist in that seat. We might have a people pleaser in that seat who will give all of our time away so that everybody likes us. That's me. I'm a people pleaser in recovery. Also perfectionist in recovery. All right, I'm gonna start over here. I'm just gonna pass it around.
I am kind and resilient. Can you hear me?
I am understanding, empathetic, and kind.
I am supportive, caring, and kind.
I am compassionate, kind, and bold.
I am patient and brave.
I am loyal and encouraging.
I am compassionate and assuring.
I am kind and supportive.
I'm kind and caring.
I am enough and no one can tell me different.
Wonderful. All right.
I am strong and understanding.
Thank you so much. How'd that feel, huh? You got to stand up for yourself today. Literally. I never made that pun before, but I'm going to use it. Okay. All right. So we are going to do a quick exercise. So getting back to breathing. So do I have audio or no? I do have audio. Okay. Okay. we're going to try to have audio. If not, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a tool called box breathing. Recently in my life, I've been experiencing a lot of anxiety. So I've always had stress, but anxiety's like been a new fun thing for me. And so I've really been leaning into breathing. Yes, Tony. Awesome. Do you want to lead the exercise? All right, so I'm gonna do a little video about the benefits of it, and then I'm gonna have you come up here and you're gonna you feel comfortable leading the box breathing? Okay, all right. So I'm gonna do a video, and then you're just gonna like scoot yourself right up here. Awesome. Okay. Oh, that was our co-pilot mantra. It took me a while to find that graphic, and I really enjoyed it. I'm sorry, I just put these slides together and I forgot. There was this awesome one. Okay. Oh, wow. Wow. That looks like a hard no.
Just says YouTube clear. Failed to connect. So let me see if I can just steal the link and put it in that.
There's an error. Okay. Do you want me to? We don't have to have it. It's just like an info video about box breathing. So I put some of the lovely benefits of box breathing up here. So box breathing is a way when you're spinning out, when you have that. Who's ever had that? Who's seen Inside Out 2? Inside Out 2? Yes, the anxiety. So there's this little emotion that goes around and around and around. So box breathing is one of those. It's kind of like a very active kind of breathing. And it helps you break it down and give a big hug to that little anxiety that's going around in your brain. It can help you sleep, helps you refocus. In my own experience, it just really, it helps us tap into our present moment and enjoy the now versus, anxiety and everything is about what if, right? And then we kind of spin out on the future. And so it helps you enjoy the now and be like, now I'm okay. Look, I'm here. There's heat. I have my favorite tea. I call it my anxiety, pun intended. And yeah, so it helps you kind of get your brain to a more resource state, your prefrontal cortex. All right, Tony, come on up.
Where do you want me to sit?
Right here.
Okay, hi everybody, I'm Tony, and I'm going to tell you about box breathing. So this how it kind of works is you want to make a box on a piece of paper, like if you have a pencil or a pen, and what you want to do is you want to breathe in for 4 seconds, you want to hold it for 4 seconds, you want to breathe out for 4 seconds, and then you want to hold it and then repeat. What I use my box breathing for is when I get frustrated or if I need a reset. That's what I use box breathing for.
All right, are we ready? Okay, lead us.
Ready? We're gonna box breathe?
Yeah, we're gonna box
Okay.
breathe for should we do 4 or 5 rounds? Does that sound good?
That's fine.
Okay.
Ready? Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Hold. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Hold. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Hold. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out.
Great. Thank you.
No problem. Oh, thank you.
Guest instructor Tony. Workshopping is in your future. All right. Great. Let's move on. We are not going to spend too much time on our second tool because the third tool is really juicy and I really want to get into it. but I do want to talk about it a little bit. Okay, stress. Stress, right? So there's 80% of the workers in the United States now report being stressed at work. Does that surprise anybody here? No. Does that surprise you?
No, it doesn't surprise me. I just want to say that my stepsister, she has just working 2 jobs, but then she stopped one because she was getting stressed. So that makes a whole lot of sense to me. So
Yeah, 2 jobs, that would be a lot of
I
stress.
feel like you're accurate on that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that, Tony. And there's this quote, I am a student of mindfulness-based stress reduction. I host a series of emotional intelligence workshops, the ones at Parkland, and other organizations in the community. And in this book by this mindfulness leader, John Kabat-Zinn, he has this quote from this play, like, so this would be circa, I don't know, this play was probably written in like the 50s or something, So please look at this quote with that in timeline. So I'm a man, so I married, wife, children, house, everything, the full catastrophe. So we are all living a full catastrophe life, right? It's all coming at us all the time. Yes.
What does catastrophe mean?
Catastrophe is like COVID-19, that was a catastrophe. Like when things are in a chaotic state, like after an earthquake, earthquakes are catastrophes.
Any natural causes.
Yeah, natural disasters are catastrophes.
Loss of control.
Yeah, we can view like when we don't feel like we're in control of our lives, and we can feel like everything is just one big catastrophe. And we are actually made. There's this quote by Henry Ford, is that our brains, to me, remind me a lot of airplanes. So airplanes are designed to take off into the wind. Our brains are designed to learn through problems. So we are naturally wired to face into the wind. We are not naturally wired, unfortunately, to roll with the wind. And so then the gift is, how can we dance and enjoy having to take off in the wind, right? Okay. So if unchecked, stress can affect every single process in your body. There is nothing that is not like really untouched. It's like top to bottom, side to side, inside out, everything. Like my skin has been super, super dry since I've started to kind of have anxiety. Like, so that's outside, right? Inside, I'm drinking peppermint tea like it's going out of style, right? It affects all sorts of things. I'm a woman of a certain age. I have a lot of friends who, like along the line, when they would try to have kids, but when they were super, super stressed, surprise, surprise, they were never able to get pregnant because the stress, right, will keep you, it even affects the reproductive system. It affects everything. So stress caused my eyesight. Like I had to get readers. I was like, man, my mom didn't get readers till she was like 65. Damn it. So yeah, so it affects everything. So that's why we're here today. Okay, we are going to, so we're not going to do this one right now, but in here, so think about when you normally get super stressed out, what is going on in your brain, right? What that is not the compassionate co-pilot, your pre-compassionate co-pilot, right? And compassionate co-pilot's a process, so it's going to take lots and lots of times to rewire those neurons in your brain, to rewire to be a compassionate co-pilot to yourself. So don't expect it to magically happen overnight, because it won't. So what can we really do with stress, right? It's going to be there. Sometimes it won't go away. Sometimes it's a life change, right?
Put it in a box, lock it up and bury it.
Yeah, so we can pretend it's not there, right? We can pretend it's not there and just kind of like hold our breath and cross our fingers and hope it goes away. What we can do, yes, Tony?
That's kind of hard when you know the stress is there and that's all you want to think about. So what you can do is do methods, like maybe stress toys or something like that.
Right, so when the stress is there, right. So finding different ways, exactly. So we're going to talk about,
So when a stress ball, if you squeeze it hard enough, you can beat that stress.
Right, so that is one way to what they call completing your stress cycle. So there's these two beautiful women who they're each like a double PhD, the Nagoski sisters. They're identical twins, and they authored a book called Burnout: The Secret to Completing the Stress Cycle. And so they did all these studies, and they had a lot of clients over the years and helped them reduce their stress. And the big thing is always completing the stress cycle is a kind of a physical activity that you can do that will help your body, that lets your body know that it's no longer, there's no saber-tooth tiger in the room anymore. Even if it's there every day, right? Stress makes us think like, oh my God, if I might lose my job, or like, oh my God, that conversation went so bad, what do I do, right? So the saber-tooth tigers keep coming over and over and into our lives. And what is our job to do to make sure that our systems still stay online and we're not getting into all sorts of like long-term health issues is complete the stress cycle. And there's actually kind of some fun stuff that we can do to complete our stress cycle. So creative expression, that's a good one, like art. Affection, a 20-second hug. You got to ask consent for that, just saying. 20-second hug will complete your stress cycle. So this is stuff you can do during the day. The box breathing completes your stress cycle. Do that for a couple minutes. Boom. Take a walk, stress cycle. A big old cry, right. Yeah, a big old cry. Crying is great at releasing all sorts of stuff out of your body. Yes, Tony? Exercise, yes. Any kind of physical exercise is going to be great. And so it's like trying to figure out like how to work with your body, right? And bring it back into the present, right? Feeling the present, right? Feeling your toes on the ground and not spinning out over here, right? With the anxiety the voice in there. I am a certified laughter yoga leader. So yeah, I think I'll be doing that for a little bit of that for the next session. Laughter is huge, right? And so whether or not you're fake laughing or real laughing, your body doesn't know the difference. Isn't that great? So if you just laugh, this is a win-win. You laugh for a little bit, you go watch some funny videos online, boom, you got your stress cycle completed. And so, right, so it's like when your body kind of starts to get off track and you feel tense. I usually feel tense. Like, where do you guys feel tense when you get stressed? Where do you feel it in your body?
My shoulders.
Shoulders.
Chest.
Tony, your fists?
Clench fist.
Oh, you get clenched fists?
Headaches.
Oh, your chest.
Headaches.
Oh, headaches. Stomach.
I get it in my jaw.
Oh, your jaw, right here. How many of you, like, if you did this right now to your jaw, how does that feel? Does that feel good? Yeah, it's because gets tensed a lot when we get stressed, right? I know, it's just like saying like, hey, good morning. You can be a little relaxed, it's okay. It's okay. My yoga instructor used to always say, unclench your jaw, unclench your stomach. I went through about a period of a decade where I was like, oh, I'm constantly walking around. I mean, I didn't even have like a six-pack to show for all of the clenching of my stomach. I feel stress right here in my back, my lower back. It's like someone is like poking me with a hot poker and saying, move, move, move.
I get that too.
Yeah, you get that too. Yeah, so it's so important to recognize these are your signs. These are your signs to complete your stress cycle. All right, and so what we are going to do is we're going to do a fun little exercise. And I think we're getting so close to the end. We're going to do a little exercise for 1 minute of something else that I do all the time in the car, and my kids are super embarrassed, but it helps also complete the stress cycle, and it's fun. And I'm going to just pull it. I know, it's so fun. It's so fun. Where is my phone? Okay. Can anyone guess what we're going to do?
Music.
We are going to do music, a specific kind of music.
Relax music.
We're not doing relaxation music.
Zumba.
We are going to be doing clapping. Clapping. I know. We already know how to clap, right? Right? It seems like, duh, like, why are we clapping? Clapping has been reduced, like, it can help, like, improve digestive disorders. It improves immunity. Every time you clap and you make contact with either your hand or someone else's, you get a little hit of dopamine, right? So no sugar required. you get to, feel naturally better. And so I do this in the car. My kids think it's ridiculous, but you know what? It works. And yeah, clapping. There's actually a book about the clapping habit. Okay, and so we're going to stand up and we're just going to clap for like 30 seconds. You ready? Come on. All right. Usually there's music, but it's fine. We got it. See? You feel a little bit embarrassed, but it feels good. All right. They're like 10 more seconds. You got this. You can do it. A few more reps. All right. Give yourselves a round of applause. All right. Yay. There's actually a song called Clap Your Hands, but it's all good. All right. Oh, I love that. I love that. All right, so we are moving on to our third activity. And if any of you know about the lovely woman who she was an addict and she went through all sorts of codependency recovery. I am personally a codependent in recovery of 12 years. So I've been 12 years in a 12-step program, basically addicted to what people think of me. So I'm a recovering people pleaser with a coin to show for it somewhere. I usually put it in my purse. And gratitude is a real superpower. And when it comes to looking for a job or trying something new, a lot of times we hesitate. We don't feel confident. And there is we're going to do a little journaling activity. And I don't know why. Oh, because I'm not in the thing. We're going to do a little journaling activity. It is on page 3. It's called My Lucky Penny. And guess what? Everyone who completes this today will get to pick out a lucky penny from my lucky penny area, my little Charlie Brown tin of lucky pennies. So a lot of times we don't feel confident that we can do something new because it's something new. So we need a reminder, a strong reminder that we have done a lot of hard stuff. We have been through it, right? We're living and surviving through the catastrophe of life. And so reframing, being able to reframe your thoughts that you can't do it to you can do it, is like a big help when it comes to trying new things. And so I like to think of the lucky penny, and so I want you to think about a challenge or difficulty that you have experienced and is already resolved in your life. So not anything currently ongoing. And I want you to write about it. Write about all of that it entailed. So we're going to take about 3 or 4 minutes here, and we're going to write down. And then after that, write about how did you make it through? How did you make it through? What did you learn? All right, 1 more minute. Bonus question, if you can answer the what can you be grateful for about that challenge? Bonus question. What did you learn and what can you be grateful for?
What are we supposed to write in so this happened? We're supposed to write that.
You can write it in the pennies or you can write it in the...
No, I'm saying, what do we write in this black circle? This black circle?
Oh, so what a challenge or difficulty that happened to you, like happened in your life. And then once we write about that, then we write about how you made it through and what you learned about yourself. All right, 20 more seconds. All right. So for as many challenges as we have lucky pennies. I know it doesn't sound like, oh man, I wish I could get my pennies without going through this stuff, but that's how we get our pennies. And so we become not only confident that we can get through it, but also grateful that it happened. Like, am I grateful I got laid off? Heck yeah, I'm grateful. I learned a lot. I learned how to speak up for myself. I learned about mindfulness. I learned about, that's when I discovered laughter yoga and all these things that really, I started to not just think that the best part of me was the fact that my toes were perfect, right? So these challenges are just opportunities for us, and we are uniquely wired to have just a flood of pennies in our life if we want to, right? We can choose to be pessimistic and hide and not feel great, or we can choose to see the pennies, right? It's our choice. We can choose to be confident and see the pennies and go after whatever that big, hairy, audacious dream you have is. So, yes.
I love that because I have a similar mindset. Growing up, you kind of just pass by the pennies. You don't really pay much attention to them because they're just pennies. They're cents. There's not much you can get with a penny. But then I kind of just changed my mindset and I started picking up pennies that I would see on the floor or even at my place, you know. So yeah, I always say if I see a penny, I'm like, ooh, lucky penny, even if it's if it's a heads up, even better. So I don't know, I just tell people that and they're kind of like, oh, okay, cool. Where did I get it out?
That's great. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Yeah, it's important to, right, see those pennies. We can pass by the pennies. We don't have to be grateful, right? We can just say life is tough, and that's what it is. My parents would always say, suck it up, bootstraps, let's do it, we're fine, right? So they would glaze by all the good and the not so good. It didn't matter. It's just be the best person. And, but we miss life when we're not noticing the pennies, right? And then we get to enjoy life more when we actually go through something hard. We can say, oh, I'm gonna get to be grateful about this someday, even though it's really hard right now, and I can't see what's going on. So I want to thank you all for showing up today, for coming and being willing to be an instructor, for tossing a beach ball around. It was absolutely lovely to connect with each and every one of you. Let's see. So I am a life coach, and so these are some ways that I can help you going forward. If you want to, I have a tiny little package of a 2-session package. If you're interested in just connecting and working through whatever is really, really hard right now, I am a person who can provide that space and a different perspective and reflect to you that, right, you got it. There's pennies all around, right? Great.
Do you keep these?
You can keep your own nameplate. Absolutely. Go home and be proud. that you created a nameplate. That's my organizations, and thank you so much. And I have a little thank you card for each of you and a penny. And please do leave me a review if you can. I am a woman-owned business, and I